here at the moment. So as we go through, feel free to ask questions, and we can actually focus it in more on specific things that you might want to ask. Does that sound okay? You can unmute your mic if you want as well.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Okay. So obviously I've got a presentation to go through, but I am conscious that you are the only one here. So I'm quite happy to skip over things and pick up questions from you as we go through. Okay. So right. We'll see how we go. Obviously I'm going to be looking at e-commerce, how we get started. Have you actually done anything yet? Are you running an e-commerce website?
No, I'm more or less ready to build my own website. I'm going via WordPress, and I think SiteGround as a host at the moment. I'm not sure on that.
Okay, so I'll go through some of the basic stuff as to why then, and then when we get into the options, because it sounds like you're ready to choose an option on how you're going to build your site. Yes.
Yeah.
And we can focus a bit more there, and we'll do that. Is that okay, Sadia?
Yes, that sounds good to me. Thank you, James.
So see it as a one-to-one web building e-commerce session just for you, Debbie.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, well, nobody else has turned up yet.
I can't believe I'm the only one in it.
So you can have all of that knowledge and expertise over the next hour or so.
Fantastic.
Okay, so if we look at this is a bit about me. Okay, I work on the Humber Growth Project. So we'll just talk at digital trade. So this is a bit of positioning. Okay, so, you know, cross-border trade, selling into new areas, selling into places in the UK, how we would do that internationally. The UK market, to put it in perspective, we are the third largest market for e-commerce. So we are very good. So when you're looking at ideas of what you can do, the UK is a great place to go and start looking, because we're doing a lot of business through online selling. Trade goods in, exports, imports. We've got trade goods and also trade in services. Okay, so trade is enormous for the UK, especially in an e-commerce market, and we're seeing major growth in all areas. What are you looking to sell?
I do crafting, mainly crochet, knitwear and macrame at the moment.
Okay, that's seen a big increase in people getting back into it and learning it as a skill.
Yeah, I know.
Over lockdown.
But I'm unsure of the trade, you know, because I have to get a code from HMRC, plus there's the, obviously, trade in EU and elsewhere in the world. Yes.
So all of that is, okay, in your area, you'll have something called the Department for International Trade, and the Growth Hub can probably tie you up with them, and they will give you views on how you physically, if you export, and the issues with that, because the export into the EU has changed enormously due to Brexit. We'll talk about it a bit later on. But in order for, it sounds like there you've got to register with HMRC. So are you at the point of starting completely?
I'm actually registered. I have been going a while, but it's just the start of, is it your EIOR or EOIR?
Yeah, so
code?
that's the export codes if you actually start selling into Europe.
Yeah, that's the one I have to register for.
Yeah, if you are selling into the UK and only the UK, you don't need to do that registration.
No.
So it will be purely if you are going to do some overseas market, and you'll probably find there's a whole thing about value. So items under £135 don't typically see import tax.
Right, well, I don't sell anything above that, so would I still need everything?
I will speak to a trade advisor, and I'll get an answer to that for you, and we'll send it through Sadia.
That's brilliant. Yeah, thank you.
Because there's a whole thing, and where they've changed it is obviously because we're no longer in the EU. We don't charge VAT but
Yeah.
there's an import tax. So if you send something, so there are stories that because I do some work with the Department of Trade, where people in Spain have ordered leather jackets from a UK company. They've shipped them. The jackets, I think in total were about £180 for the two. And the person's been presented with a £250 import tax bill. Okay, so the rules have all changed, and even the Department for International Trade are still trying to figure out because it all comes to, well, where did it originate from? Has it come into a warehouse in the UK and all of this type of stuff? But as you're making it yourself, you'll probably find a good majority of this won't actually fit your situation.
Right, thank you.
Okay. Germany and that, so there was just some positioning sides. I think because it's you, you're not that size yet, you're not service and all of this. Okay, so first thing with e-commerce is understand the objectives. Now we see two sides to e-commerce. We've got the service side and we've got the product side. Now you clearly sit in here.
Yeah.
Okay, unless you're going to offer services which are design services for crochet items and things like this. Okay, but that's probably down the road once you've established yourself slightly more than where you are now. Okay, so product side. Now with products, we can touch them, they're tangible, they have a specification, what it's made from. You'll have attributes, so different colors, different sizes of items.
Yeah.
Features would be, if we're talking more general B2C, warranties. How are you going to promote this? Are you going to give people offers, buy two, get one free, all of this type of stuff? Now, these are things you need to start thinking about, because we would use offers, we'd use features and attributes as things that we would use to try and sell your product and get more people interested. Okay.
Yeah.
So you are acting as a salesperson for your business, but you're doing that through a web-based platform. Okay. And we're doing it across the internet. Now, if we think about, what is the product you're selling? The next stage in your journey is, who are you selling to? So as it's just you, where are you with that? So who's your customer?
The things that I actually make to sell cover every age group and gender.
So every age group and gender.
Yeah.
So give me, what is it you're selling? So I'm making some notes here.
Crochet and knitwears, it's mainly from baby, say cardigans, hats, I do blankets, just a range of, it's mainly clothing, but I do wall hangings.
Okay.
I don't do the mobiles because I haven't got into my CE testing yet.
Yeah.
Likewise with the toys. That's the same for knitwear as well.
Yeah.
Macrame is mainly wall hangings, air plant type displays.
Yep.
And key rings, which I found out I've got to be careful on key rings because some of those would need CE testing.
Okay. Okay, so customers wise, if we take, you've got various different product lines there. Okay. Yeah. So customer wise, if we think baby clothing, there's specific customers who will be interested in that. Yeah. And you might find it's grandparents, okay? Or you might find it's young mothers or friends. And this is one of the key parts we have to get to understand.
Yeah.
Because when you start to promote a market, the customer plays a big part. Because the customer, you've got to put the right type of thing in front of them and the right message. And one of the main things we see when we work with companies around e-commerce is that the vast majority of them don't actually know who it is they're targeting. So they go very general. So when you started, you went, well, it's for everybody, which in reality it is, but there will be a certain group of people who would be interested in buying little crocheted booties for a baby, or a blanket for a baby, and that might very well be we're now trying to reach, we're reaching grandparents. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, because that will help you then understand, okay, who it is you're trying to go to. So we create things called customer personas. So you might have Bob, who's a granddad. You might have Jane, who's a young mother. You might have Sue, who's interested in, she wants some unique art for the wall, something she can hang on the wall, etc. So we build personas about these people as to what are they interested in. So what I'd suggest is that you have a think about, okay, my baby clothes and my general scarves and blankets, who ideally is the customer for that? So, because that will then help you get an understanding of what channels you need to reach them. So at the moment, you're just looking at getting a website in place, yes?
Yeah.
Where in reality, how are you going to actually reach the customer? How are you going to let them know your website is there?
Because a lot of it's social media. I've got the Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. And I've also just started a YouTube channel, which at the moment I haven't actually put any videos on yet.
Okay, you've been very busy, haven't you?
I'm trying.
But what I would say is this, okay, why are you on LinkedIn?
I did a webinar I think it was 2 weeks ago, and that was with the Eventbrite hub. Simon does it.
Yeah.
And he was showing about LinkedIn and how you can get seen on there.
Yes.
So that's basically why.
Okay. Yeah, we'll pick that up in a minute.
Yeah.
But where do you think your grandparents are sat?
Not on LinkedIn.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Where do you think they are then? What platform are they using?
Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, I would say probably they are more in Facebook.
Yeah.
Whereas your Instagram user tends to be. So let's think it in this way. If you're trying to reach the young mothers or friends of the baby parents, Instagram might be a brilliant platform.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I want to reach young mothers, an ideal platform is Pinterest.
Yes, I've got Pinterest.
Okay. Because Pinterest is usually dominated by females and the younger age group. So when I say younger, I'm talking probably 20s to late 30s. Okay. Whereas your Facebook at the moment tends to be an older generation, because all the young people have dropped out and they've gone to Instagram and they've gone off to Pinterest and they've gone off to things like TikTok. Okay.
Right. Don't do TikTok.
Yeah, I don't do TikTok either.
No,
so
I ain't gonna.
but that's the thing. So if we were going on the journey, obviously customers is obviously what your product is and what your customers are, because I'm going to pick channels that relate to these different customers to start promoting my products.
Right. So I'm going to look into Pinterest more now then.
So, yeah, the thing with Pinterest is it's getting the pictures in there, because what people do is they put them to boards. So this might be my baby board, or this might be my interiors board. And then people go and they're looking for inspirational ideas, and somebody's pinned one of your cardigans. Okay, so there, from that they go, oh, that's nice, and then they'll click it, and then they can come to the website and they can see it and they can buy it. So Pinterest is great for that. Obviously on Instagram we've got the same thing. It's all about what's visual and shown to the person. So the key to making your website work is going to be the quality of the pictures that you are sharing.
Right. So Facebook and Pinterest basically are more or less the best two for getting people to your traffic to your website.
Well, I would go Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram with what you're doing.
Yeah.
Twitter is more of a news distribution platform.
Yeah.
So you could put offers to there, you could put new products to there, just to let as a platform to people go on the platforms mainly to protect their brand names, even if they're not using them. So they'll periodically put things to it. But I would definitely say the Facebook, your Instagram, your Pinterest, the 3 platforms you should be looking at. How can I actually exploit these? Right. The LinkedIn one, LinkedIn is a B2B platform.
Oh, right.
Okay. So mainly aimed if I was working with a service business or somebody who'd got products that were going into it, they're trying to sell to businesses, I would probably be putting my effort into LinkedIn. So in terms of that, I think it's great you've got a profile there because you can actually put something about what you do. I wouldn't be breaking my neck to put loads of things to LinkedIn.
No, because it's a lot of time and effort, isn't it?
Well, this is it. And one thing you'll know because you're starting is that if you do start to make sales, or when you make sales, you're gonna hit a problem that you can't do everything and make as well.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Yeah. Which means you're then into the realms of finding other people who like doing what you're doing, who can follow the same designs, create the same items. And now you've got the ability to expand what you're doing with homemade, handmade, British goods.
Yeah.
Because if we look at international markets, some countries really do go big time on it's made in Britain and it was made by hand. So the Chinese market is enormous for that. But this is down the road.
Yeah.
You need to establish yourself here first. Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
So getting your customers, and then the markets you go into, markets being, is there an opportunity in another country? Obviously at the moment that's not you, but I can see down the road, depending on how much you can do, that selling overseas is not out of the realms of what you will be doing. Because at the end of the day, once you've got a website, if people find it and it's marketed correctly, you can be selling anywhere in the world. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, channels is about picking the right things. And we've talked about this. So I would be saying definitely the social media activity for you is your Facebook and your Instagram and your Pinterest.
Right.
It's going to be driven by pictures. All 3 of those platforms are reliant on you having good quality image. And thinking more about the image in relation to the customer you're trying to reach. This is why thinking about your customer groups is highly important. So it might be going into, if we're trying to reach grandparents, we're trying something that's a bit nostalgic. Do you remember what it was like, blah, 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 when you were a parent back in the day, that type of stuff. And then when you're trying to reach the friends of the parents, it's probably a bit more modernized with the type of imagery you might use. And this takes time and it takes testing. Okay, but understanding the channels, like you've just said yourself, if it's going to take time to keep things going, but my customers aren't there, it's probably not a great channel for you to be on.
Right.
If it's not working.
Yeah, I've spent hours and hours and weeks and months doing research, trying to find out where's the best to find myself, and how to go about it really. Because
well, that's
I don't really want anybody to build a website for me. I want to do my own, so I know what I've got.
Yeah, I like the way you're taking it. You're in control. and it comes down to how much time do you have? Okay, so have you been out looking at what other people are doing in this area?
Out and about locally?
No, online, on the web.
Researching?
Yeah.
Research-wise, yeah, there's quite a lot.
Okay. And where they tend to be selling?
Online.
Online where?
Facebook. I've had some sales off Facebook via the marketplace.
Yeah. Good.
Not so much websites. I think Instagram and Facebook are the main.
So they're selling through Instagram, they're selling through Facebook, just very simply by probably posting.
Yeah.
Some of them might have Facebook stores and Instagram stores, but in order to do that, you need another tool, so a website. Are any of them using Etsy?
Yes, to do. I've got an Etsy shop, and I didn't do at all. I think I did one sale in about 9 months. It's saturated with it. Yeah. And then I've also got a folksy shop, which is like the UK type of Etsy.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's not brilliant either. I had one sale in that in a year.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to come on to marketplaces because it is a valid channel. It's just the issue in these type of places is it's the competitiveness of the pricing.
Yeah, that's why I thought about website, do your own thing.
Yeah, and then using the Facebook and the Instagrams to drive traffic.
Yeah, to bounce it to it, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So success in e-commerce is aimed at, well, what is it to you, what is success? A simple question. What is success to you? What will it look like?
Just being happy and getting sales.
Yeah.
that's it.
So in B2C, typically it is sales.
Yeah.
Okay. Engagement, so people looking. Now, turning engagement into a sale from a social platform, that can be very, very difficult because people are there to socialize. This is why your imagery and your message has to be something that grabs them in.
Yeah.
And over time, from a social marketing perspective, we have to be building the trust with the client. So when you've got posts going up, getting people to make comments on them, and I'm sure Simon said this because it sounds like you've done he does a whole series of talks.
That's what I'm on all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you haven't done the social one and it's coming to, I think he did Google Analytics this week, didn't he?
Yeah, I did that yesterday with him. Yeah.
Did you learn a lot?
It's interesting, very complex, blows your mind a bit.
Yes. And did you look at version 3 of Analytics?
Which one's that?
Well, Google's tool.
I can't remember doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. So if he showed you stuff on Analytics, he may very well have been in version 3, but Google have just released an updated version to version 4.
Ah, right.
Which is it's focused on engagement. So when we talk about engagement, it's people looking at your content. Do they stay? How much do they stay? Version 3, which he possibly talked about yesterday, has things in like bounce rate as a metric. Well, that's disappeared in the next version. But, you know, all of these tools, analytics is there for one reason. It's to measure the effectiveness of what you're putting out there.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what you need to, when you go and look at analytics, is you need to be thinking to yourself, well, what is this about? Now, in your instance, I would say it is 100% sales.
Definitely, yeah.
You haven't got things for downloads unless you're going to design your own patterns.
I'm on with that as well. There will be downloads for patterns.
You're doing everything, can't you?
I can't help it.
But to be honest though, but that says to me, okay, there's lots of opportunity with what you're doing beyond just selling the item.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just thinking like patterns and things, once they're uploaded and for people to download, it's just there in the background. It's forever, isn't it?
Yeah. So what that gives you is the ability to create a list or a community of people who are interested because they're taking the patterns. Now, if we think about this long term, so moving forward, if we take the view of do you just let them get them, or do you ask them for an email address?
I haven't actually done it yet. I'm just in the
Okay.
process of making and writing out.
Yeah. So what you could do is you could tease people when you've got a website, and also on Facebook, you could tease them with some patterns and then get them to register. And now you've got something you can send out every month that has a new pattern on it.
Yeah.
And you're building a community, because at some point, if you can't fulfill because you're selling on the web and you've got a lot of orders, you might need some people, and that gives you a list of people you can go to and say, does anybody want to make some of these? Just thinking, okay?
Yeah.
Because I've a client in Cumbria that I'm working on an e-commerce website with. She's in a unit. Next to her, there's a coffee roaster, and next to her, there's a guy. He's got a network of about 270,000 people on Instagram. And he did a show, a live stream with the guy from the coffee roasting company. Now, obviously, Cumbria at the moment, there's no tourists because of lockdown. So businesses are just maintaining. He's got an online website. He sells some coffee and delivers it and posts it out. This guy did, and he was on this guy's show for 10 minutes talking about his coffee. He did 150 orders in the next day because he was on this show.
Oh, wow.
The problem with it is this: he hadn't got enough coffee to grind and roast to send for the 150 orders.
Oh dear.
So he had to go and get the coffee and then wait for that to come in order to fulfill the orders. So one thing you need to get in, okay, we've got what success looks like. We want sales. You're going to have downloads, okay, because you've told me you're thinking about the whole patterns thing. We're looking for registration, so you're collecting people's names and addresses, because this gives you then something to market to when you've got a new cardigan design that comes out or something like that. And we've got engagement. So people engaging with the site, all of these fit what you're trying to do. The problem is, if we make this and we can't fulfill it, we have a big problem with customer experience and customer retention.
Yeah.
So these are things now, as you're starting, make sure you're clear with your plan.
Yeah.
Okay. If you get loads of orders, great. Just remember, you've got to fulfill them, because what you don't want is people on Facebook now coming and saying, I ordered from Debbie 2 weeks ago and I haven't seen it yet. Okay.
Yeah, and you do see that.
And that's something that you're going to get that, because you can't please everybody out there, but you've got to set expectations. You know, I've got in a network I'm in, there's a guy there that makes suits, not crocheted ones. Be interesting, a man's work suit crocheted. He makes
No,
suits.
don't. You're putting daft thoughts in me head here.
Well, when it takes off, just remember where you got the idea from.
Yeah, right. I'll send you one.
He makes suits, but his expectation is set when you're ordering is going to take 6 to 8 weeks, because they're handmade. So these are things you might have to build into your message. Okay, we've got these products, we're doing this. If you're interested, pre-orders.
Yeah, I'm already on that.
It's great to hear you're on it all.
Yeah, I've already got commissions and things written in it, and lead times on it.
Yeah, brilliant, excellent. So e-commerce, internet commerce, selling, buying goods, moving, transferring money, and etc. It covers a whole wide range of areas. Okay. Now, requirements, which it sounds like you're on the road, and we'll just flick through some of these and explain what they mean if you're unsure. You've got to understand requirements from multiple different angles. Okay, from your side of it, you need to look for a platform which allows you, it will handle a number of products that you are going to have.
Yeah.
Now, typically, how many products have you got at the moment?
Quite a few hundred.
Okay, so quite a few hundred. So we're into an e-commerce tool. We're not into just putting them on a page and putting PayPal buy now buttons on. Okay, we actually need a platform to allow people to add multiple things to their basket and check out. Okay, so you're into your WordPresses. If you were saying I've got 1,000, 2,000 products, I would be saying you're probably looking for a more bespoke solution, like Magento, because it's a large global platform for e-commerce, but WordPress will fit. And we'll come on to some of the other options that might be easier from a technical perspective. Okay.
Right.
Obviously, we've got categories and multiple categories. So putting items in different categories, because you need to make sure the tool enables you to do that. Now, WordPress does that, Shopify does that. So we can put this product into multiple categories, because you have to think again back to what does the user want. So you may say it's a cardigan, it's this, that, and the other, but your user might be looking for it a completely different way.
Right.
Okay. Hence why when we're doing menus and categorizing our products, we start to think about, okay, if this is a female buyer, she'd expect to see it under there, whereas a male might expect to call it this. So thinking about how we categorize becomes important. How many images do you want to put up? Now, images are, some cultures, they will look at the images and decide if it works for them. So, okay, the bare minimum is you need at least one picture. But I would say if you were selling a cardigan, I might want to see it from the back.
Yeah, I average about 4, a front, a back, close-up of the buttons and the actual stitch work. Yeah.
And it might be if you've got intricate stuff around the collars or the wrists, that these might be sensible, or pockets.
Yeah.
These might be sensible things to do in. So you're thinking about that, which is great. Now, attribute based is to do with sizes. Small, medium, large, colors, material. And this is, when you don't have a lot of products. So let's say I have six items and I do them in 2 different sizes and 2 different colors. In order to make my store look bigger, I would have them all as individual items, because now I've turned 6 items into 6 foot 24. So my store looks like it's got more in it. But as the store grows, that just becomes very hard to manage. So that's where I'd start bringing in attributes. So I can buy this cardigan, or I can buy this blanket. It's in this size. Oh, I want it in a larger size, or I want it in a different color.
Yeah.
Okay. So having the ability to add attributes, that then you can change the pricing dependent on the attribute. Now, you've already mentioned WordPress. So that means you are using WooCommerce, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't yet, but
okay.
that's where I am.
That's where you're thinking at the moment. Okay.
Yeah.
So WooCommerce does all of that by default.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the easiest way to do WooCommerce, if you've got a lot of products, which you have, is to do it in an Excel spreadsheet and upload it all in one go.
Oh, right.
So you don't sit there and you don't have to put 100 products in individually. You can create it as a spreadsheet and upload it in one go. I've just done it with a client site. We put nearly 400 different products into all the different categories it needed to go into from one upload. It probably took about 30 minutes to sort the Excel spreadsheet out, but it went straight in, okay, with all the pictures as well. From a customer's perspective, it's then, what does your customer expect? Now, customers today in e-commerce expect lots of things. This is why the vast majority of tools now have them as being default in the install. They want to be able to come back and order the same. So they want to be able to see a history of what they've ordered in the past. They want to be able to track their order. So linking it into the post office so you can give them tracking numbers.
Yeah.
Automatically, it generates those for you. They want to be able to check out as a guest. In other words, I don't create an account on your website.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah. Where you have to create the accounts.
Yeah, that you have to, like you say, to buy something, you've got to create an account. I don't like that. I like the guest checkout.
People don't typically. They want to do guest.
Yeah.
Payment options, giving 1 or 2 different options for payment can actually improve. Now, the common ones we're seeing today are PayPal, Apple Pay, and you can even embed Amazon Pay into most websites today. Okay.
Yeah.
Discount codes. So buy 2, get 1 free, or buy 2, get 1 half price, or put this in on your first order and get 10% off. These are all things you have to think about, and that's about understanding your margins on your products.
Yeah.
Okay. Shipping, obviously. We all like free shipping. I don't know what you're deciding to do with shipping your items, whether you're going to do a flat rate or you're going to charge, or you're going to give them for free shipping. Which one?
Well, I was thinking of charging for at least the first one, and then doing reduced for multiple, as in maybe
so if I add,
say if you get to £30, you'll get X amount off, or £40, you get X amount
so free
off.
Yeah, the typical one is free shipping over a certain amount.
Yeah.
Now, to give you an idea how we do that in e-commerce is we set it, and then what we do is we look at the average order value and we start increasing the free shipping. So it's just above the average order value, because a lot of people then go, oh, I can get it. If I add another something in, I get it for free on the shipping, because people are driven by free shipping.
Yeah.
But you're thinking the right way. If we put 2 or 3 items into the cart, that you actually give them a discount. So that would fit under discount codes.
Yeah.
So multi-item purchase, I'm going to knock 5% off. Okay. So you're thinking it's just finding that level of where you want to put the free shipping in. Now, when we get into shipping, we start to do various things. In other words, to try and get the customer to give us more money effectively. So it might be you do free shipping or flat rate shipping, but it's going to be 7 to 10 days. That gives you time to perhaps make it. That gives you time to just have it sat there, because they're paying for 7 to 10 days. But then you put in an expedited shipping, where if you want this quicker, in 3 to 5 days, you can pay for that service.
Yeah.
And then if you want it next day, you have another one, which is even higher for those people who are desperate to get it. And these are things that I would say, when you launch, you test these, you test them to see if, because there are those people. I do a lot with students at Warwick Uni. My students, if expedited shipping appears, they will always pay for it, because they want it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or they want it the day after, because they expect, well, it's online, I'm not ordering it, why have I got to wait 5 days to get it? Okay, so there are things we play with. Weight and cost-based shipping, again, you need to think that, is there a chance somebody could put things in? Have I got items which are quite heavy? Okay, so in your case, chances are they're not going to be extremely heavy.
No.
They're going to be quite light. So you're probably fine with just thinking about over a certain amount of cost we can reduce it or give it for free.
Yeah, the heaviest thing that I would be selling are macrame things, what are maybe done onto driftwood.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
So it
obviously
might be
that adds the weight.
So that is you thinking, okay, will the tool allow me to put a shipping rate on those items that is different to the rest of the store? So that's a requirement just to think about.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, additional services, packages, agreements, and all of that, that's main for a B2B. People want easy contact. So contact forms, chat tools work extremely well, but obviously you need to be present in order to handle them. The alternative that is you outsource customer service and you find people who will handle customer service. I've got a friend who runs a handbag store online, and her customer service is done by people in the Philippines.
Oh, right.
Okay, and they handle all inquiries for her and they deal with all of that on the website. She got them through fiverr.com.
Oh, I've heard of that on YouTube.
Yeah. Payments, that's on the business side. Payments, people paying on invoice and all of that. But we're mainly over here. So your requirements, you need to actually, think, and it sounds like you've been doing this, which is good. Think about how people want to shop, what they need to see, what functionality do they want. Do people want to do gift certificates? Do people want to have a shopping list that they can share with people, wish list type thing? So all of this, but this, when you start, we would class it as what's the minimum things that have to be there? What's the lowest level of thing we need? Okay, so that is option for doing a B2B website. So we're mainly here then. Marketplace, website builders, or bespoke solutions. And we're going to look at all of these. Okay, so website builders. Now, I'm not going to class WordPress as a website builder. Okay, because WordPress takes a bit more than just, so website builder is where I go somewhere effectively, I just register with them and they give me a full interface where I'm just putting in my products. I haven't had to worry about installing WordPress. I don't have to worry about updating WordPress. I don't have to worry about updating the tool. They handle all of that for me. Now, the reason we do this is they're quick. Now, just like you, obviously, I have built websites. I do build websites. And I am using, so I run an online store. And what we'll probably do is I'll drop to some online stores that I'm doing near the end, so you can just get an idea and feel of the difference between them. So I run an online store. It was started as something, as a project I'm doing with students, and I was going to do it in WordPress, and I ended up going to Shopify. So I pay Shopify £21 a month, and I've got a fully functioning, feature-rich website on Shopify. They handle all of the infrastructure. They handle all of the payment. They pay the money into my bank account. It handles customer registrations. I can easily add new products. I can do discount codes. It gives me all the functionality I need. It's quick, it's simple, it's easy, and it works. Okay, so, I'm not saying don't use WordPress, because I've got another website that I am using WordPress for, because we need a bit more functionality beyond just its product listings, of which Shopify won't do. So we've had to go into a bespoke solution to build their website. But website builders are quick. We get lots of function. They handle all the hosting. They actually develop the tool for more functionality. And there's lots of plugins we can add in that just work. There's support 24/7. They're scalable, which means as your business grows, the tool grows with you. There's security built in, multiple payment options, and their start templates are professional. Pretty much the same sort of list we'd get if we look at WordPress. Okay, now the next way, so my first step would be a website builder, simple. My next stage is marketplaces. Now you've tried Etsy and you tried the other one in the UK. Yeah, so obviously Amazon and eBay are the two biggest marketplaces in the UK, and globally they are pretty much the two biggest after the Chinese specific ones. They have different focuses. So Amazon and eBay will sell anything. They're multi-purpose platforms, and they are good platforms still to list your products on and see if people are interested, because what you're looking at is, where do my customers sit? And you could find an eBay store works. Now there's lots of people out there that don't have websites. They've just got Facebook channels, Instagram channels, and they're selling through Etsy, Wayfair, Zalando, eBay, and Amazon. So they're using the platforms to generate, and they're using the platforms to sell instead of running their own websites. Now, this is all well and good, other than these platforms charge. So you'll pay a fee for listing and a fee for selling on eBay. You pay a fee for listing and selling on Amazon. And as you've been on Etsy, you pay a fee for listing and selling on Etsy, which means you have to factor all of this in to the cost you are selling the item for. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've got a client who sells, they sell bottled beer, and they sell not on the high street. And if you go direct to their website, you pay less for the same box of beer than you would if you brought it on not on the high street. Which, you know, is the way it goes. But what works for them is their main customer is female and 40 plus, because they're buying gifts for their husbands or partners, and they're finding them on the marketplace. And then once they've made the first order, they're then coming direct to them through the store. So marketplaces are an interesting area to think about. And now I know you haven't had great success yet, and that might be a pricing thing in relation to all of the other people on there. And it might be increasing the message that it's handmade and it's handmade here. And because I've seen bags on Etsy that I know I can buy from AliExpress in China. Okay, so, you know, that handmade here thing might be the thing that has to push. But these are valid ways to sell. And I would say, in addition to having a website and a Facebook and a Instagram. Okay. Why do we use them? We use them because visibility. Lots of people will go to Amazon, lots of people will go to Etsy in order to locate product. So it's the visibility. Single payment, easy storage options. They sell globally. So you can list into the German Amazon or the French Amazon. They get reviews. They give you the language options. They give currency options, and they're trusted platforms. Okay. Out of them all, Amazon is trusted. People see Amazon as if it is a physical store. Whereas eBay, because eBay came from a bid, you outbid people. People have a different perception of goods and services sold through the eBay platform. But they have a valid place. And I think mixing that in is something you should look at as you go forward. Right. Okay. But the key to it is making sure you know how much it costs. I've seen so many people sell on Amazon and eBay, and it's actually costing them to sell their product because they haven't taken into consideration how much they have to mark it up in order to sell it. Now,
Yeah, well, that's what I found on Etsy, and I am on Folksy as well. Because you don't get many sales, you're still paying for your listings.
Yeah.
So if you're not selling, you're still paying out
for
listings.
Yeah. And this is it. And I think that's a case of you've got to, I would say, probably drive other channels first. Then as you start to sell more, it might be that a marketplace like Etsy or the other one, can't remember its name, come into play, because now you've got revenue to actually list and push those channels. Because you will find you could, you know, because customers get comfortable with where they're buying from. Okay, it could just be that you need to be there, and initially it is going to be a cost, but in the long term it could actually turn into something that generates quite a lot of customers who then realize, well, you've got your own online store, so your job then is about moving them from the marketplace into your online store where they're going to get the products cheaper. Okay. I think a lot of people, so I will go and find stuff on Amazon, and then I will go and check the company's website to see if it's cheaper there first.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously I work in this field, and I know in order to list on Amazon, I'm taking into account that there are charges that have to be taken in, charges that they will make. So I need to increase the cost of the product. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is the international platforms. Obviously, once you get outside the UK, it all changes. Okay. And the easiest way to do that is, so these are different, this is a slide deck that was for the full presentation. But, you know, different countries have different marketplaces. And we'll get all of these slides to you. Okay. Now, if you're thinking, where can I sell this, or where should I be selling this overseas? The UK government has spent an enormous amount of time building this website, probably over the last 12 years. Let me bring it across. So you should have my web browser.
Yep.
Yep. And if I go for arts, craft and hobbies, and then hit find a marketplace, it shows me all the marketplaces globally that will take my product. So let's say you wanted to, let's go into France, for instance. Arts, crafts and hobbies. We've got the showroomprivy.com, Reticence, onbuy.com, Fairling, which is a B2B platform. And they're showing you where they've got deals with those companies. So this is something that comes in quite useful. So if we take CD discount, actually, let's not pick them. Let's go to this one, Showroom Privy. Belgium, France, Italy, how many registered users, how much commission the platform takes on the sale. It tells you what type of products they list, and it then covers how do you fulfill, and then how do you get support. So they spend a lot of time in figuring out how can you sell further afield than the UK. But in the UK, it's going to be your Amazons, your Etsy's, your eBays, mainly for the type of product that you are making. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Now, on to where you're at. So I would class your solution as a bespoke website. Okay. They give us flexibility, and you have complete control over what happens on that website. Whereas if we go to something like Shopify, you're working within their tool set. You're adding plugins and modules to expand the functionality, but you are working pretty much in their platform. When we get into WooCommerce and Magento and WordPress, you're responsible, or the people you're going to provide the platform, a web developer or a host, which is you in this instance, you're responsible for keeping that platform running and operating. Now, WordPress is my tool of choice for building websites. And if it's e-commerce, I would be putting WooCommerce in. So exactly what you're looking at. Obviously, WordPress it's a website, which means it can get attacked, as can any website. So when you start building this, the type of functionality is knowing what modules you can plug in and how trustworthy are these modules. So if you go this route, my advice to you is this: make sure it's updated regularly. If the system tells you you've got a plugin that is out of date, update it, because by the nature of how WordPress works, if there's an update, they put out a list of all of the vulnerabilities from a security perspective.
Right.
Okay, so there are things you need to do in order to harden a WordPress WooCommerce installation. So they're modules you add in order to protect it. So I run, on my WordPress site, I run a module which hides the admin login. So it's not the standard login. So it's a different URL. I run a security module that if somebody tries to break into my website after 2 attempts of failed passwords, it locks out that complete address. So that person can't try and access again. So there are things you need to do if you're going to run your own solution. I'm not trying to put you off. I'm just making you aware that you become responsible for your store being present. Now, just like Shopify and BigCommerce, you can get professional templates. And I'll show you some of these when I drop to the machine in a minute. But the reason we go this route is we can have fully customized solutions. So we can do lots of things with it from a development perspective, integrations of tools, etc. Whereas if we're on the one-click install type tools, we're relying on, well, what have they integrated it to? So let's say you want to do email marketing because you've collected all of these emails of people who have downloaded your patterns and you want to email to them. Shopify integrates to MailChimp. WooCommerce and WordPress will integrate to MailChimp. You may have to play with the integration a bit more than you would just putting in your MailChimp access details into Shopify, but we can make the vast majority we can make talk to a good number of tools. But this route gives us the ability to go, well, I just want to tweak just that page there, and I can go and do that inside of the WooCommerce WordPress templates. Okay.
Yeah, it's quite complex, isn't it?
Well, it is. It is. But you seem keen to learn.
I'm keen to learn. I've been trying to learn, as you do, for quite a while.
So,
and I'm putting it off and putting it off, but
I'll show you
because
both.
I'm not 100% yet.
I'll show you both. So I'll show you a Shopify and I'll show you a WordPress WooCommerce install.
Right.
So you can see the difference between the two. Okay. So, you know, things to note, and this is generally with e-commerce, is cost of selling. How much does it actually cost to sell? Now, you would have gone through the sitting down and going, how long does this actually take me to make? How much what is my time worth? All the overheads that you'll have in your business of insurances and all of this type of stuff and getting things tested, all of that needs to be factored into, okay, I need to price my items at this much. And then how much does it cost me to sell? Because even with a WordPress or a Shopify, if somebody buys on my Shopify site, they are taking, I think, 2.4% as a transaction fee for taking the payment. The same we'd get if we passed out to PayPal. PayPal might be about 3.2%, but you have to start understanding these figures.
Yeah.
Okay, because it comes down to your sales margins. You need to think about the distribution, which is how much is it going to cost you to ship. Now, a lot of people make money on shipping, because if you're sending out something that's quite light, you can probably put it in an envelope and off we go.
I hate that. When you get your parcels through and it's got the postage on it and you've paid X amount. Yeah. I hate rip-off shipping. Yeah.
Okay. So that might, if that's the case, what you might do is you might think, I hate rip-off shipping, which means probably my customers hate rip-off shipping. What I'm going to do is I'm going to roll the shipping into the price of the item, and I'm going to do free shipping.
Yeah. I agree.
Because what you're saying to people is, no, this is what you're going to pay. This is the cost. So my store is selling just in America. Everything is sold with free shipping. Because I know what the shipping cost is I'm paying to get it to America. Okay?
Yeah.
And obviously how much profit. Okay? Everybody, all marketplaces charge for listing and selling. Any web sale, where there's a transaction, there's a charge for the card payment. So, you know, having a good understanding of that, and the good thing I'm getting from you is that you have spent a lot of time thinking about this.
Oh yeah, I have.
Yeah. And, you know, Excel becomes your friend with your products and how much it costs to make it, how much you're selling for it. If you sell one, how much profit you make. So you know all the margins and figures. Okay. If you're not there yet, that's somewhere you will end up being.
Yeah, I'm not good on Excel.
Yeah. Yeah. Disintermediation and traditional selling is not relevant for you because you are making it and you are selling it direct to the end user. So you are in a disintermediated marketplace. You're not selling through other people.
No.
Okay. And one of the issues we see in e-commerce is definitely when people are manufacturing, they've had traditional channels. So they go through resellers or stores, and the stores are now selling their things. And they think that e-commerce gives them the ability to do this. Well, that's where you've started. You're selling direct to the end user. You've got nobody in between you and them, which means you're maximizing all of the profits. A lot of companies start this way and then go, well, if we sell this way, we make more money because we haven't got all these people sat in that chain. Yeah. What they forget is this chain here is probably what is making their sales, because these are store owners, these are distributors who are selling their product for them to the customer because they're the ones with the customer, not you. But you're here. So great for startups, so you can go straight to the end user. Okay.
Yeah.
So some additional tips, and I'm going to drop to the machine. Speed and distance. Where your website is hosted has an impact on speed. So I would say when you're, if you go down the WordPress route, hosting in the UK, so you SiteGround, was it you were looking at?
Yeah, I've looked at a few.
Yeah, so SiteGround, making sure that they're UK-based servers would be a good start. Or are they using something called a content delivery network? So the closer you are to your user, the faster the site is. So I've had hosting in Canada, which, okay, the internet is quick, but it adds a delay because obviously people have to go to Canada from the UK in order to hit the website. My hosting now is in the UK with a company called 20i based out of Mansfield. And you know, UK based servers, good support, work well, and it adds value. Okay. Obviously China doesn't relate to you because you're not selling to China. Obviously in China we have to be in China. This may come in to what you're doing, and I'll put it there think about how people refer to the products. Obviously you're targeting the UK, so making sure that what you call it is what I would call it if I was looking for it. So are they booties or are they boots? This type of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So getting that in place. Okay. Currencies, obviously, a UK focused pounds. Obviously, if somebody from Europe hits your website, they'd probably like to see the currency shown in euros. But these are things that you can add down the road. And payment options in different countries, people want different things. I don't think you need to worry about translation yet, but obviously down the road, if you started selling overseas, you might want to put translated content in.
Yeah.
Okay. Strategy wise, well, I think for you at the moment, you are over here, your UK stage 1. Okay. Anything into other countries will be, excuse me a second, somebody's trying to dial me. Other countries is something that you're quite a way off. So you're over here. Now, marketplaces, testing products, you've done this. You're testing, are people interested because you're using Facebook and you're using Instagram? And you're getting sales.
Yeah.
So you know people are interested. So your next step is definitely moving into website and giving them a platform that gives them more. They can see things, they haven't got to start scrolling through. Now, the beauty with Shopify and some of the WordPress templates, they have Facebook shop integration. So my Shopify site pushes straight out to Facebook, and I have a Facebook shop on my website, on my Facebook page. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm going to show you this, so it gives you a bit of idea as to what you can do. In order to pick between Shopify and WordPress, okay, you need to have the functionality in place. What functions do I need? Because you need to be checking, do the tools I'm going to look at give me the functionality easy? The choice between, do you go down a WordPress route or do you go down a one-click installer route like Shopify or BigCommerce, comes down to the ease and ability to get the store there quickly. Okay, and how easy do you think it is going to be to manage the store? Okay, and that's something, you know, that's a choice you have to make. From my perspective, both routes work and work well. My Shopify site was there within, I probably had about 25 products on it within an hour. Whereas if I was doing that on WordPress, it wouldn't have been an hour, I'd probably be about a week. Right. Because all the infrastructure is there. But I'll show you both of them because it is just you and me, so we can do that in terms of what we're doing. Okay, just to give you some of the digital catalyst, and then I'll drop to the computer. Digital Catalyst is a project in Humber. It's through the Business Growth Hub, okay, where you get access to people like me to work on how you should be using technology. We carry out a review of what you're doing, we analyze what's happening, and then we help define and help you find people to implement your projects. So we start off with benchmarking, maturity, indexing, looking at the business. Then we move into providing support, which can help you understand what it is you need to do and where the key parts where technology fits. And then help you come up with action plans and then link you into people to help you deliver what you're doing. Okay. Different things we've done, obviously identifying technologies that add value, options that offer value for money, but obviously make the best return for you today and in the future. We obviously, because we're experts, we know what different technologies are available, and obviously we know how to implement and manage the technologies on an ongoing basis, and we can obviously help with that. Areas of projects that the Growth Hub, this program has supported, obviously digital marketing and social media support. So I tend to do can do quite a lot of that. Moving stuff into the cloud, consolidating technology, productivity, e-commerce, cybersecurity, anything to do with technology. The Grow My SME, the Growth Hub have got people who can help with this aspect. Okay. Now it's one-to-one support. Now at the moment, the program is for new entrants is frozen. Okay, because we're at the end of the activity is being extended. So we're waiting for additional spaces for the one-to-one support to be allocated out. Okay, so I have to make you aware of that. Okay, but that's the Digital Catalyst program and where it sits. So if more spaces come available, then I'm sure the team will be in touch to see if you are interested.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay? But obviously we're at a point where at the moment we can't accept any new people onto the program.
Yeah.
And it's to give long lasting impact. Okay. Making your business more agile and flexible, seeing it grow, increasing your profits, being more efficient, and being safe online. Okay. And you'll get all of this if you are interested in knowing more. Okay. But the program is there to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop to the computer and I will show you a WordPress install. And I will show you a Shopify. Yeah. Sound good?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much. I'm glad it's only one-to-one. I'm getting more.
Yeah. Have you got any questions while I just pull up the site?
No, basically, it's the main thing about website was how do you rate the WordPress and SiteGround possibly that I'm thinking of as a host?
Okay, so WordPress as a tool, I think WordPress as a tool is good. Okay, I don't have an issue with WordPress as a tool. Okay, so let me pull up a So this is a WordPress website. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's using a template there. So the structure, it comes from a template. This is using a set of templates from this company because I have access to them. Starter templates. So effectively, it gives us a start point with graphics that you go off and you start changing.
Yeah, I've seen that on YouTube, Astra, and Elementor as well.
Yeah, and I'm going to, it's much easier now. I've built themes in the past. Why bother? Now I just go here. I've got access to all the themes because obviously I run a business doing this type of stuff. So we just start here and then we start modifying the themes to fit. So this particular theme had to change for one reason. Okay, it had to change. This was the original theme. Okay.
Yeah.
And obviously that's steak, and this is a vegan restaurant. So we
yeah.
we've had to change pictures. But we've got, obviously, we're bringing bookings into this so people can book tables because there's a module that does that. And obviously we've got gifts, groceries, and by weight. So I can go in here if you want meats, meats, fish free, and meat subs. Okay. And this is the one we uploaded in an Excel spreadsheet to populate. So I can go in here, get the product, additional information, related products come up, everything we'd expect, add it to the cart, and it becomes a really simple, easy to use website. It's back end wise, if I log into it, okay, all our products are added through here. Okay, so if I want to go in and edit the coconut sugar, so I've got to add some pictures to these ones. Straightforward. I get a short description here. I can put it in different categories on the right. I can add tags, and then I'm defining the product. This one is a variable product, so I can buy it in either 100 grams or 1 kilogram bag. So my prices are different for the two. And you know, once you're into it, it's a fairly straightforward. So here we have a recipe maker module we've added in, which in your instance, that might be patterns, that type of thing. So you can get all the functionality, you've just got to manage it. Okay, and update. So here I've got two plugins. I've got a red symbol. It tells me that the Facebook for WooCommerce, so pushing it out to a Facebook store, I need to update it. And my food online delivery and pickup module, that needs updating as well. So I would go in periodically and do all of this because I'm looking after the site while it's in build stage. So that's that's WordPress, and there's a lot of stuff in there, very functional. As a tool, WordPress is absolutely brilliant if you do the SEO correctly. So getting it into search engines. Yeah. Okay. And I'm pretty sure you've either done Simon's talk on that or due to do Simon's talk on that.
I've done that one. I've done that many. I've had to save them all on me emails, you know, when he sends you all the videos afterwards.
Yeah.
I've had to save all them so I can actually go back and look in. Yeah.
So this now is going the other way to a one-click build. So this is a Shopify site. So jewelry, we've got a bracelet. We did have a rotator on the front. We've taken that off, so people go straight into product. We'll probably bring more of a homepage back when we've got some more time to work on it. But we've got our carousel to go through, and people can pick here gold, white, champagne, color, length. Okay. Yeah. Okay, add to the cart or go straight to PayPal. And you know, this is using a paid for template and not one of the standard off the shelf ones from Shopify. But saying that, I think the template for this was about $70. And the template for this is probably about the same sort of money. So, you know, one of the key things you need to do is look at other sites and see, well, what do I like? Do I want 3-page layout? When I get into the product, how do I want the product to display? So we put shipping details on. We've got this, products can take 4 weeks to arrive. We've got ring sizing for the rings. And these are things we've added in because the template allows us to do it. Now, the Shopify site on the back end is, you know, your orders come in. The people can register for the newsletter when they order. And you effectively click. That's there. I use another tool, Obolero, to go and manage the orders. This will tell me this is an order. Because I've processed it, I haven't got the order button, and if I hit order, it takes me to the person supplying it. Now that isn't, you don't have this because you're the supplier. Yeah. So you would just be clicking, it's my product. Okay, it's there. And once you take the money and you send it out, you'd hit fulfilled. Whereas I have to go into Oblero, get tracking number, and as soon as I get tracking number, it comes back and fulfills it here for me.
Right.
All the products are exactly the same as doing a WordPress type site. So if I go on to this one, I get my title, my description, I can say where it's going. Okay, so this is going out to Google, it's going out to, well, it's not going to Google, it's going out to Facebook, and it's on my online store. So I feed everything to Google Shopping.
Right.
So it can appear in a Google Shopping campaign, so that's paid advertising. And also it goes to the Facebook store. I get all my customers' details and information. Okay, it gives some level of analytics. I can do marketing through it the same, and you can get plugins at WordPress that will do exactly the same. You got your discount codes, and then you've got additional apps you can go and add in order to build up additional functionality. So I Blingsy, I go Facebook one, Google, over there, and Sprocket. Now if I go to Facebook, so you can see what the Facebook store looks like. Obviously I'm now doing something I wouldn't have done in the thing. I'm going to my Facebook page, so if there's something on here I need to get rid of quickly, no, they're fine. Go to,
Shall I shut my eyes?
you never know. You never know what some idiot I know is posted. If I go to the Facebook page, if I drop in here, come on Facebook, and I go to shop, this is the whole of my shop from the whole of the shop come across. Direct push from Facebook. So if I click on this one to buy it, it will there. Okay, shop information, I can save. Obviously it's sold, so we can't buy them. I can check out on the website. Let's find a different one. So let's go for that one. Okay, if I do this, it takes me straight to the website, check out on website. There we are, add to cart, and that's it. So, you know, that's the Facebook, the social stuff, integrating to it. Once you've got your catalog, you're pretty, that's it. You can send to Google for Google advertising. So on Google, let's go for handmade baby cardigan UK. See if anybody's advertising. Okay, so this is Google Shopping. Okay, so this is for the search handmade baby cardigans UK, and we have people who are selling on there. You'd have to ask yourself, are they actually handmade? But you can start seeing what, and this is one of the things for the Etsy channels and things like that. It's looking at what other people are selling similar items for. Obviously, you can't compete with somebody who's mass producing and they're not handmade. But it will give you an idea of what's out there and whether or not Google Shopping is something you should be looking at doing. Okay?
Yeah.
Have you got any questions while you've got me and we've got a couple of minutes?
There's two, because I'm still on the WordPress for my actual site.
Yeah.
Have
you got, did you mind, have you got a site live?
No.
You got a Facebook page?
Yes.
And what's your Facebook page?
It's Stitch Infusion.
Stitch Infusion.
Yeah. After the I, you want a T for Stitch. That's
got it.
Yeah.
Got you. Don't worry. I found you.
Yay!
Can't get away. We can find you everywhere. Okay, so you got your message thing coming up there. Okay. Okay, what you might want to think here is, so for an engagement perspective, okay, I would add at least another picture or two.
Yeah.
Because then you get the plus sign appear.
Yeah.
People will naturally click into it. At the minute I'm just looking. Whereas if there's extra pictures, you probably drive more engagement. You also may want, so we've got two comments.
Yeah, it's not actually finished being set up as a shop yet. It's halfway there.
Yeah. You may find you've got to drive into the shop.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can. I'm trying to remember if you can upload an Excel spreadsheet. I've done it the other way. So I'm driving it from an existing store because this person needs to check out somewhere. You can't yet check out actually on Facebook.
No.
Okay. What you might want to do is actually tell people how much they are. It's a shower bath set, 100% cotton.
Yeah.
Okay. How do I order it from you?
Well, usually I have had them actually through the message.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it is.
So a Facebook, all right, were you putting the cost in where I've got the top bit?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, available now, available today.
And put the cost up where I've got that hand knitted
Messages,
at the top.
yeah. So there's a whole thing around 2 lines. So 2 lines, then a return, and then more text, because again, that means people click the more.
Yeah.
Something about what it's made from. Okay.
Yeah. There's another thing I've gone. You know, I don't know if you've heard of Stitch Fiddle. These are patterns that I've got for sale on Ravelry, and it's doing, you know, little blankets or squares in the, because it's done corner to corner. They're actually pixelated patterns. Yeah.
And then do you have a stitching machine that stitch it onto the block of cotton?
No, you crochet it. You actually make it into the blanket.
Okay.
That's a graph you follow. But in Stitch Fiddle, it gives you the actual written version as well. You can convert it. So I've started that as well.
Yeah, so I would definitely be getting something on your posts saying, okay, if you'd like one, comment. And then you can get engagement going back and forth with the people, or messages, send message.
Yeah.
Try and drive people to do something, because you are getting people asking for things because you've said you've had sales through the platform.
Yeah.
So just you know, don't overdo the sell because you're on social.
Yeah.
And make sure you are share the odd. Do you share like this to your own profile?
I'm just trying to think now which my actual Facebook page, which is private, my Facebook page.
Yeah.
That's an add-on to it. That's the way you have to do it, I think, don't you?
Yeah. This is an add-on to your own page.
Yeah, that's that pixelated thing, that owl, what you've just got. That's how it works out, look.
Okay.
When it's actually done. Yeah, the only thing I don't like about there was just pictures I was sharing in the beginning.
Yeah.
Things. The only thing I don't like about the Facebook bit is I always see my stuff. I have to go into this page all the time.
Yes. Yeah, and that will be, obviously you follow the page. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you send a message out on Facebook, it will only reach about, so when you post here, you've got 102 people liking the page. So you'd be lucky if a post goes to 5% of those.
I know.
Okay. Now, in order to get it to go further, you need them to comment. So the good thing you're getting here is you are getting shares. Okay. You try and stay away from doing nothing without a picture, would be a piece of advice. You are getting shares, you are getting comments. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the more you can get that and drive likes, the further it goes organically. So, you know, getting people to engage with them, like here, 1, 2, 3, that's, you know, there's more. So naturally people will go and click in.
Yeah.
Okay. The more you can get people to engage, the better it will do for an organic reach. You obviously have the ability to boost this. So
Right.
you can pay for advertising on Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook typically is lower cost than Google.
Yeah.
But you really need to know the audience and the customer that you're going to send it to. And I imagine Simon's probably got, either you've done a session with Simon on paid advertising on social media, or he'll have one coming up.
Yeah, it's just finding the right things to do in it, and
It
where
is,
to do it from.
Yeah, and I think with what you are selling, I think Facebook is an ideal platform, because obviously when I say about going to networks in Facebook, let me just go in. Okay, just give you an idea, I'll just do a quick okay, so let me drop into here, hold on. That's not what I want. Just give me a second. So I go into there. So let me go on that one.
Oh, you've gone past your time.
So I'll just show you this, and then we'll.
I want to ask you a quickie question, if that's all right.
Yeah, go on then, while I'm here.
Right, because hosting, is the SiteGround?
SiteGround are good, yeah. What are they charging?
I think it's 104 for the year. That's with the security. You've got your shopping cart, everything on it.
Okay, yeah. And that's the WordPress shopping cart, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So in here, okay, so this is the beauty of Facebook advertising. What we can do is more options. All people, all languages, placements, where's it gone? Edit. Okay, so I can go, come on, baby. You can get to people who are, browse. I'm interested in parents. Okay, new parents. You can go to people who have friends, people who have a friend who's just had a baby.
Right.
Or are expecting a baby. So there's an enormous amount of detailed targeting you can do in the Facebook advertising platform, which you can't get in Google.
Right.
Okay. Which, trying to think where they put it. There's definitely one. Life events, anniversaries, date of birth, friends of, newlyweds, people recently made birthdays. Okay, there's loads of stuff. Newly engaged. There's loads of stuff you can target in there.
Yeah, I've never gone to that ad part.
Yeah, but this is something to think about. Obviously, advertising costs money.
Yeah.
So you have
But if
to
it
do
generates sales, then fair dues,
well,
isn't
this is it. But I would say probably get your website first, improve the Facebook posts you're putting out, put some prices on, and see if people, you know, contact us if you want one, or type in the message if you're interested. Or
Right.
things like, okay, would you want, if this was in a different color, would you be interested? What colors would you like? And use the platforms to ask the questions of the 110 people that are following.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. One last thing, if that's all right with you.
That's fine. Yep.
When I'm working on the website, actually building, how do I do it so I can work on it offline, keep it totally hidden until I'm ready to publish it fully open?
You should. Oof.
That's a biggie, isn't it?
No. So if you're doing it on WordPress, the first page any website loads is the home page. So on WordPress, I would take the home page and I'd make the visibility of it password protected. So in other words, when I pull up the website, it asks me for password. There's probably another way of doing it. I'd have to do a search and find out. But you should be able to on the all pages, click it on the page content you want. Yeah, that's saying protect. Yeah, so they're doing it on the post. So I would probably do that on the thing. There might be a plugin that actually does it. I'm not sure. I've never done that. I usually work on everything offline and then I move it up to the server when we're ready to send the site live. But yeah, you'd have to, if you make the home page password protected, people would have to put a password in order to see it.
Right. You know, when you just said you work offline before you put it out to everybody, how do you do that then? So I can build it without nobody seeing it? I
have a web server running at home.
Right.
So that's very complicated.
Well, I ain't got one of them.
No. I think if you password protect it on the home page, that should do what you want. That people have to put a password in. There are things, so the SiteGround hosting, is it with your hosting, if you probably got either a support section.
Yeah.
If you send them and say, I want to put a password on my website while I build it, then they will tell you how to do it on their hosting, because you can do it that way where you effectively, anybody who hits the domain has to put this password in order to see. And that's probably the easiest way to do it.
Right. So you think SiteGround are going to be okay then?
SiteGround should be fine. I've heard of them, which means, yeah, they're out there in one of the main ones.
Yeah, they've got 24/7 support, so
Yeah,
that's another thing as well.
yeah.
So, right, that's brilliant and
Okay.
fantastic that I've had a one-to-one.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, and you think I'm all right as I am then at the minute? I've done as much as I can.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of thinking. Just make sure you clear your requirements, because when you start doing the WordPress site, you'll need, it might be, okay, the default WordPress doesn't have what you want. Okay.
Yeah.
So you may need then, okay, I need something that's going to give me this functionality. And that effectively is, once you're in WordPress, you've got a section called plugins.
Yeah, I think Astra and Elementor was the main.
Yeah, so Astra and Elementor. So the standard Astra plugin on their starter templates.
Yeah.
So the Astra Pro is $47, and Astra Pro gives you access to all of these additional bits inside of Elementor. Okay, gives you a lot more functionality, but it means you can then start. So if I put in e-commerce in here, okay, some of these you won't be able to get access to, some you would. And you can just go through this. So let's say you wanted to start with this one, okay, you like the look and feel, you would just go and load Cosmetics Store 02 in, and it would give you all of this, and it will bring all of this content in for you, and then you're just editing it off and swapping images and things for it.
Right. So do you reckon Astra Pro then, or do you reckon Starter?
If there's a starter one that works for you, then the starter templates. It's about getting you going.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't want to be paying out.
Yeah.
Until
so,
I'm.
You know, we've got, so there are, so WooCommerce. WooCommerce have some themes. So, you know, and these are built well, because they're WooCommerce. So we know they work with WooCommerce. So they will have a whole load of stuff. So, you know, this one here, straightforward block shop.
Right, and that's a plugin on there as well.
Yeah, so this would be a theme. Instead of using Astra, you just use this theme, the block shop. And it's going to give you, you know, it will give you some level of customization. It's how do you want the store to look when it comes up, and then finding the theme that gives you the majority of what you actually want. It's that we do an exercise with the students at the university, and they must spend 2 or 3 days finding a theme. That's because they can't make their minds up. And we say, just pick one. It doesn't really matter. We're more interested in what you're doing. It's a learning experience. It's not about building a website that looks. But in reality, this one, that's mine, and my students built this in probably 2 days. There's a test site. It should come up. Okay, so in 2 days they built this website. Using Astra with online ordering, reservations, and an online menu. And the beauty of using a professional theme, so the WordPress one or the Astra one, is you can do this. And now I'm looking at that as if I'd got an iPhone 8 plus. So I can check, is the website mobile friendly? So can it be used from a mobile device?
Yeah, I've already looked into that as well.
Yeah.
I need all that.
Well,
whether it's mobile friendly, tablet friendly, and it's got to be laptop obviously friendly, hasn't it?
So the Astra themes and the WooCommerce ones, all of that is in by default.
Right, that's great.
Most themes today, I would be amazed if they were not mobile friendly, because with what you're doing, the vast majority of people accessing your website are going to be on mobile, or tablet. Okay.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Hopefully that's been very useful.
It's been great, thank you. It has, yeah. It's highlighted for myself what I've actually looked at myself.
Yeah.
And obviously it's nice to have somebody like you saying that I'm sort of doing all right and I'm on the right track.
You're thinking about it instead of just launching into it.
I can't launch into things, that's why I have done all the whatever.
Whereas a lot of people just go, oh, I've got these products, I'm going to sell them online, and off I go, and they just start, and there's no, well, okay, what does this need to do? Definitely think about your users, because the way you present the product to them and the message you put with it will change. If I'm going to a grandparent, it's different to going to somebody who's the same sort of age, especially if we're trying to shift the baby clothes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.